So we're going to go ahead and start with atoms and molecules. And now when I like to talk about atoms and molecules, one of the things that I like to do is kind of bring up this saying by Richard Feynman, who was a physicist. And he said that if you had to reduce all of scientific learning to one interesting fact, or as he would say, one statement, one important statement, it would be that all things are made out of atoms. And that's really true. Everything is made out of atoms. And when I talk to the kids, I always talk about how I'm made out of atoms, you're made out of atoms, trees, sun, stars. Everything that we know of, and even some stuff that we don't know of, is all made out of atoms. And so these little teeny tiny atoms are incredibly, incredibly small. Now, to give us a perception of how big these things are, if we were to look at the head of a pin, and if we were able to somehow take, assuming they had shoulders, take atoms and stack them up shoulder to shoulder, what we would find is we could actually have about 1,000,000,000 atoms across. Okay? So these things are incredibly, incredibly small. Now, if we were to look at an atom, kind of the historic view of an atom is something like this. Okay? This is a carbon atom, and we kind of have it in the kind of solar system model. And what that means is inside of our atom we have something called a nucleus, and inside the nucleus we have our protons and our neutrons. But then also we have going around that we have our electrons kind of zooming around, kind of almost like a planet. Now, that isn't the most current view of atoms. Probably our most current view of atoms would be something like this. So this is a copper atom. And our copper atom, now we think about shells and how these electrons are in shells that kind of go outwards. And so it's a little bit different. Instead of just kind of a nice little orbit, they are kind of zooming around, if you think of it more of a 360-degree view than just kind of a two-dimensional view of an atom. So what we're going to do is we want to talk to the kids about how we can kind of visualize how atoms can come together. Now, when we talk about atoms, and we're going to talk about this later, is that there's only about 118 different types of atoms. Now, think about that for a minute. 118 different types of atoms make up millions and billions of different things. You know, I'm made of atoms. A tree is made out of atoms. And some of the same atoms that made me made that tree. And so that can be a little difficult to understand. So to help them understand that, we have these cups. And I have 3 cups here. I have a T, an R, and an A on my cup. Now, if I take these 3 cups and I put them down, I can make a word. So if I put them this way, I can make R-A-T. Now, if I take them and move them around a different way, I can make A-R-T. All right, and then one last time, I can do T-A-R, tar. So with 3 letters, 3 cups, I can make 3 different words. Now, if I take 26 letters, I can make millions and billions of words, or hundreds of thousands of words, I'm sorry. I can make lots and lots of words just with 26 letters. Now, kind of a fun little exercise you can do is you can show them this little demo of the T, A, and R cups and have them try to figure out words. Obviously, we figured out tar, rat, and art. But now, what if I were to add 3 more letters? If I were to add a P, an S, and an E. Now I can go through and I can make more and more and more. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment, and I have a little handout, and you are going to see if you can make as many letters as possible. So the handout looks like this up there. It looks kind of like this, and it has all of those letters, T-A-R-S-E-P. And what I want you to do is take a couple minutes and see if you can figure out as many words as possible. You don't have to use all the letters, but see if you can use make as many words as possible to fill up this chart. So go ahead and do that, and we are going to help us understand how atoms can come together to make larger and larger and more different types of things. All right, go ahead and start.